What is the meaning of life? Is a difficult question to answer in the strict time frame of 7 to 8 minutes. Instead, we have decided to tackle an equally complex and pressing topic. What is the meaning of professional selling in commercial real estate? Our team searched far and wide for commercial real estate to show us its true colors. What we didn't realize is that it's all around us, except here and here. Commercial real estate is property that is used solely for business purposes and that is leased out to provide a workspace rather than a living space. We will now present our findings.
The development of the commercial real estate industry in Canada parallels the growth of the nation, with early colonial governments appointing brokers to distribute land for permanent settlement. Gradually, a centralized legal system took form, and along with it, a rise in individual property rights, including the transfer of those rights. In today's world, the commercial real estate industry deals with a number of key players. These are the landlords. They are entities that own real estate assets for investment purposes. They seek out properties that create an ROI through capital appreciation and rental income. In order to acquire, dispose, or lease an asset, they enter a representation agreement with a broker, who will then use their extensive market knowledge and local relationships to connect a buyer with a seller. The most important players in the commercial real estate industries are the tenants. They are the entities that ultimately lease the space and occupy it for business purposes. The tenants are arguably the most important players in the industry because the forces of their demand drives the type of real estate being developed, purchased, or leased. In order to find a space that fits their needs, the tenant will enter into a representation agreement with a commercial real estate broker, who will then connect them with an appropriate space. The final player between all parties in the commercial real estate industry is the brokerage. They are the ones that lease the assets, help with the acquisitions and the dispositions, and help each player in the industry. The brokerage is viewed legally as an agent under common law. In a legal sense, the brokerage is an agent that enters into an agency relationship with a principal, which could be a buyer, seller, or potential tenant who is looking to occupy the property owned by the landlord. The relationship is typically documented by way of a representation agreement, in which the broker becomes legally obligated to represent the specific needs of the client.
The challenge facing the real estate industry stems from the fact that buildings are fixed and therefore difficult to quickly or cost-effectively change in order to embrace technological advancements. First, I'm going to talk about the office asset class. According to a 2017 Deloitte study, the tech sector in Toronto has seen 30% growth over the last 5 years. The surge of tech leasing has escalated rental rates, decreased vacancy rates, and caused owners to focus on attracting more tech tenants. This has been driving demand for progressive, open-concept office space. Tech tenants are looking for spaces that can accommodate high density and can be used on a 24/7 basis. Successful developers and landlords must rethink traditional viewpoints in looking to attract these companies by offering vibrant workspaces close to transit and amenities. Brokers must tailor their pitch approach to the client they are serving. These changes have also given rise to the concept of shared office space. Companies such as WeWork lease out a great amount of office space and sublease it out to smaller growing businesses. This kind of flexibility allows employees to work remotely. By needing less space, tenants are able to cut their operating costs at a time when rents are very high. In retail, technology is shifting the power from retailers to consumers. Over the past 15 years, online retailing has transformed the retail landscape by resulting in the disappearance of less successful retailers and forcing others to look for new ways to survive the disruption. Barriers to entry for online retailers are greatly reduced because of the absence of real estate as a part of operating costs. Studies on the subject have shown that physical stores will remain core to creating an innovative and long-lasting shopping experience, but they are no longer the sole touchpoint for a retail brand. Landlords and tenants must work together to position stores as part of the omni-channel customer engagement model, combining physical inventory, online access, and an environment that is customized to enhance the customer experience. In industrial, digitization is disrupting an industry that isn't always associated with being on the leading edge of technology. The increase in online sales has meant that warehousing and distribution markets have also grown, with many large retailers investing in highly sophisticated technical fulfillment centers. Overall, the real estate industry must adapt to the continuous stream of digital disruptions that are occurring: artificial intelligence, advanced robotics, network capabilities, and connected platforms for collaboration. Technology creates a more diverse, geographically dispersed organization that is more mobile and virtual, but the more disrupted we become, the more that connectedness is needed. To discuss best practices in the industry, I'm going to use Cushman & Wakefield's Young Broker Training as an example. New hires are put into research roles to get a strong understanding of the industry and make connections with senior brokers. They cycle through departments to determine what the best fit for them is. There are cold calling and pitch coaches available. Sometimes you have to perform cold calls in front of your colleagues. A book called Utility for Real Estate describes how successful brokers must learn the art of winning over clients by helping and not selling to them with inherently useful and relevant information that they actually want. Because of the relationship-based nature of the industry, real estate professionals must know that reputation, consistency, and credibility are key. And while not all real estate professionals are brokers, they must all know how to internally market themselves to solidify a promising career.
So in the future, we can see that a lot of the back-end work with commercial real estate is going to be used in order to eventually phase out a lot of the work that is going to be implemented in order to find clients or find potential tenants. Tenants are now able to find office spaces, the property developers or owners that are going to be best tailored to their fit and their business needs. With this, we're going to be seeing that brokers on the tenant side or the buyer side are likely going to become phased out because of this connection and the ease of this connection that the buyers and sellers can make. As such, the brokers or the real estate developers and owners are going to have to maintain strong relationships with their tenants in order to develop optimal solutions and optimal spaces. As we had mentioned, the types of tenants are also evolving. We're moving away from traditional businesses such as banks and lawyers and moving into tech startups who need unique office spaces and also need the flexibility to grow with their business. As such, in the future, these commercial real estate developers and owners are going to need to understand their clients' needs and their clients' business trajectory in order to also grow the value of their own plans and their own buildings. Real estate is always going to be a relationship-oriented industry. What we are now going to be seeing because of these new types of tenants moving in is moving from a transactional relationship into a consultative relationship for the property owners and the developers so that they can then grow their business with the businesses of the tenants that they are acquiring. The only relationship that may remain consistently transactional is that in the retail space. If you think about all the malls, probably all over the big cities, they all have the same kind of businesses. They all have a Nordstrom perhaps, an American Eagle, something like that in the retail space. And these stores are not going to be moving out of these shopping centers for a long period of time, and therefore the negotiation of these transactional contracts are going to be habitual and fairly repetitive in nature and not going to need to grow with the business.
The easiest way to get your career started in the commercial real estate industry is to align yourself with a team of professionals that know the industry really well. It's a tight-knit, relationship-oriented industry. It's also very competitive. Make sure you're ready to be comfortable with the ambiguity of an income based on solely commission and essentially running your own business. Salespeople in this industry need to be hardworking, charismatic, and are expected to pay their dues before they can graduate to the big leagues. Skills in negotiating, finance, and communication are a necessity. Last, find your own opportunities. A lot of components of real estate are changing right now, so there's a large opportunity to take advantage of the ambiguity and solve problems with creativity and innovation. To summarize, the two major changes we're seeing are, firstly, the proportion of new tenants being startups and smaller companies are enabling companies like WeWorks to match tenants with sublease space. Secondly, brokers representing smaller clients on the tenant side are at risk of being phased out as a result of information becoming more readily available. That being said, despite technology becoming a tool for empowering clients, commercial real estate will not soon diverge from its relationship-oriented roots. Furthermore, technology does not need to pose itself as a threat, as brokers should seek to leverage big data to draw unique and impactful insights as a part of their sales arsenal in order to assist them in matching tenants with spaces. Ultimately, new grads should seek mentorship in order to learn the ropes and begin making a name for themselves before they begin hunting multi-million-dollar deals. Stay positive and be hungry. Real estate is one of business's best kept secrets.
The additional work can be done upfront in the prospecting phase. Not only are we looking for businesses that fit well in the spaces, but also in companies we believe in, companies that not only help grow the value of our properties, but companies that we can also help grow. If we understand client business objectives initially and set them up for success, the maintenance of those relationships are far less time-consuming and costly. From there, it's a consistent dialogue wherein we seek to ensure client needs are being fulfilled and that we support them in achieving their business objectives in any way we can. Ultimately, this is how client retention and satisfaction are achieved, resulting in superior results for the property managers and developers.
Frankly, it comes down to selecting the right markets and clients. Not all potential clients are well versed in contract negotiations, transactions, or even know exactly what kind of space would suit them best. Leveraging the unique interpersonal selling and strong industry and market knowledge brokers possess is the key to remaining relevant. In other words, creating a consulting relationship wherever appropriate will help brokers remain relevant. This is where technology can actually become a useful tool for brokers as well. Brokers should be using technology to pull their clients' performance metrics, sales and negotiations data, and market insights in order to sell their value to potential clients. With this, it's important to understand that although large commercial office and retail spaces are sexier because of all the money involved, doing several smaller deals could turn out to be more lucrative and less complicated in nature. Furthermore, brokers can leverage social media platforms and the services in order to gain a competitive advantage among other brokers.